Hey everyone, this is Finding Value. I want to cover a really cool topic. I think it can be very profitable in the future. It's nickel, and I want to go and step through supply-demand imbalances, where it comes from, who's got the reserves, and what we should be doing and looking at. And I'll even go over some charts kind of at the end of this. So stick around to the end. I think it's pretty good to see all this. And once you get the picture, I think you're gonna want to put some money into it. So let's dive right in. So we're covering nickel today. And nickel, at least from a total mine production, this is what it looks like from a country standpoint, the production. We've got the uses of nickel, and a lot of the nickel, at least demand-wise, stainless steel is a very large portion of where nickel's used. But look at this battery, just 2% for batteries. And I think most people, if you've seen my channel, you're probably gonna know where I'm going with this in batteries. So let's look at the nickel demand from electric vehicles. So when you're looking at this is in tons on the left. I think on a yearly basis, 2 million tons is produced total. So this is outright massive demand from a 2% sliver. So the demand for nickel from electric vehicles is going to drive nickel insanely higher. So as you can see, 2020, we're still kind of ramping up, and it just explodes higher. I mean, we're talking 100,000 tons to 500,000 tons in just 5 years. I mean, this is going vertical. Metals and materials demand from lithium-ion battery packs in EVs. Nickel is the purple portion, and you can tell from 2020 it is very, very small, and it just explodes higher 10 years from now. Another one, to look at, I mean, aluminum and copper is another big one too, just exploding higher. So we've got a lot of investments, I think, going forward that in a lot of these materials. This is nickel, and this is the demand here. We are currently roughly a little over 2,000 tons. So that's 2,000 tons, so 2 million. And if you look at 2020, we're coming towards the back end here. We're starting to come into a supply-demand, deficit. So I think it's a great opportunity here to throw some money in some nickel. We've got nickel supply deficit. This is kind of showing you what the deficits look like. It looks pretty bad coming forward. This is the global stock as this stock gets eaten up. So it says supply deficit expected to grow through 2025. Demand is tied to EV battery requirements. Current LME inventory is below 300,000 tons. This is another chart looking at, so we've got the price and then the price forecast up here. So this is the balance. Obviously you can see the balance goes negative. We're right here. So we're starting to come up, and I think it's going to explode higher here and continue to go higher for nickel, is the forecast. Here's the world nickel reserves from country. So Australia, I don't even know what that is right there. Brazil, Russia, other countries, Cuba, and so forth. This is an older chart, I think, 2016, but the price is right here. This is the cost of mining, the higher cost producers over here. I don't know what's going on with Norilsk in Russia. It's obviously very negative. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But I just wanted to show you kind of what that price was. We were under the mining costs. We were in a large bear market in nickel for a while. This is the companies. So these are the producers on the left. Here are the total reserves. And the top 5 here: Norilsk, BHP, I don't know what Huron Resources is. It's a development. Eramet, not sure much about that one. I've heard of Vale, VALE, hopefully I pronounced that right. Anglo Platinum, I think it's an American producer there. So we're going to look at some of these top ones with a lot of reserves and see what they look like. Here's another one in terms of production. So Vale, Norilsk, Xstrata, which I think was bought by Glencore, BHP. You know, I know the ticker symbols on a lot of these guys up here. I used to own Xstrata back in the day. So here's some charts, just seeing what this thing looks like. We know that there's a huge supply-demand imbalance. We know that we're in a deficit. We know that prices are probably going to go higher. So let's look at what the stocks are saying. This is Norilsk. It's a Russian company. Obviously, we've got this big chart pattern. Looked like it broke out to the downside here. So perhaps it'll break down, which, you know, I would not be adverse to that breaking down and heading much lower, because I gotta admit I'm very interested in purchasing some shares. So hopefully it breaks down, get some cheap shares. This is BHP Billiton here. Ooh, nice little chart pattern here that broke out to the upside. But yeah, it looks like, I don't know, could be rolling over here. Maybe we're gonna head lower. That's what it kind of looks like. Here's VALE. Again, it's in a downward sloping channel. Hopefully this thing kind of breaks down and we head towards here. If we head down here, I'm a buyer. I'm a big buyer, a very big buyer down there. This is a little junior Explorer, and it's got Nickel Mountain. I think it also has some gold and some other, I think it has rhodium and maybe palladium a little bit. But big move higher, and then the leak out. And we broke out to the upside, and sometimes these things go sideways for a while. And this is kind of I wouldn't be adverse. I mean, I'd be a buyer down here, but let's look at the kind of the near term. So we zoomed in here, and again, we're still in a downtrend here, but maybe it's putting in a pattern here. We'll see if it holds. But I'd be watching this. If it kind of comes down, maybe you can nibble on it a little bit. This is GGIFF, Garibaldi Resources. So, you know, I wanted to touch on this. I wanted to get it in front of your guys' face. Nickel is going to be huge, I think, in the future, along with copper, cobalt, any of these metals that go into electric vehicles, and this electric vehicle demand going forward is just insane. I think it was BHP that came out and said that we may be at peak oil, that we may not be able to increase liquids past this. And the car companies are really going away from internal combustion engines. And you're seeing mandates all over the place with electric vehicles, or I would say vehicles that are non-internal combustion engine. So there could be fuel cells, and fuel cells is a huge demand for platinum. And it's so, these metals, there's going to be so much demand for these metals. There's going to be a global mining boom that we need to start positioning for these metals in a lot of these companies. And if we have weakness like we do coming up, we need to take advantage of this weakness and start adding, nickel companies, copper companies, ones that produce both. There was a new release that I saw just recently. It's a nickel copper royalty. The guy from Metalla opened up a nickel copper royalty. It's called Nova. It just went public Friday. I'm trying to figure out how to buy shares in it. I want to load up in this thing. I haven't figured out how to buy it. It came out on the TSX. Hopefully we can get like over the counter pink sheet or something on it, because I am a huge buyer. I want to get involved, especially in the royalty companies. I love those royalty companies. And I can't wait to start picking some of these up when they bottom. But just showing you this information, get ready, get some money, some cash. I think we should be going long when these things bottom out and put in bottoms. This is a great time to try, getting a bottom here, because we know there's a deficit. I'm pretty sure prices are going to go higher here. And if you're patient, just like uranium and all these other mining areas, I think the rewards are going to be there. This is Finding Value. Hopefully you guys get a lot of value out of this. Hopefully you have a good day. Subscribe, comment, rate this thing up or down. I love to hear what you guys have to think about these videos. Thanks.